always, go Big Red.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Join us for Old School this Friday, December 13th at Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Enjoy their great beer selection as you pregame for the Nebraska-Indiana men's basketball game at Pinnacle Bank Arena at 7 o'clock. That's Old School this Friday at Salt Mine City at 8th and R.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly cloudy skies to start, then freezing rain arriving this afternoon. Be careful on the roads. Should see a high around 30. Tonight, wintry mix continuing, low around 28. Tomorrow, we'll see a chance of light rain and snow throughout the day with a high near 40. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through December 15th, enjoy thick-cut Iowa pork chops for $1.99 per pound. Boneless beef crock-pot roast for $4.99 per pound. Plus, they're now taking orders for prime rib, filet mignon, and other holiday items. And don't forget the $50 holiday box, now through Christmas. Always a great gift. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop! Woohoo!
Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
With a wide variety of menu options, including the best prime and Wagyu steaks in Lincoln, if you haven't been to Tavern 180, you're missing out. Try any of their steak options paired with one of their well-known martinis, and this will soon become your favorite date night spot. Call your friends for a casual get-together where steak, shrimp, chicken, and tasty cocktails await your arrival. Tavern 180, located next door to Tanner's at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Almost a year, but I'm blessed with his presence right now until Austin makes his way down from our ticket studio from 1040 O Street. I got my man Jake Sorensen right next to me. We are live here down at the Salt Mine City, 8th and R. Come on down and join us at Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R, right on the corner, right by the Hilton Garden Inn. Definitely start to see more traffic outside. Pre-game with us for the Nebraska-Indiana 7 p.m. tip with great craft beers at Salt Mine Cities. I am personally drinking a single axle. I like it. Light American lager, right? Yeah. They have the Gates of Munich from Oktoberfest. Then we have Jake Break.
Yeah, I'm having that one right now.
I mean, this is good. This is the thing. You got your own beer already.
I do.
I mean,
they take care of me, Jay.
You're the new VIP. And then we have the Triple Axle, the New England IPA, a.k.a. the Bill Belichick special, the going away special. We have $6 IPA drafts today only. Mm-hmm. And then also we're giving away free hats and T-shirts, man. I'm telling you, Jake, for pre-gaming or just coming down, and I'm big on atmosphere. I don't know about you.
I like atmosphere.
But, if you wanted to meet somebody for, a beer or a drink or two, definitely before a game or even during the week, this is a great location. Great, actually, for downtown, great option for parking. Obviously, you have, right on the corner right next to the Hilton Garden Inn, and probably what is that, about a block and a half to PBA?
Yeah, it's a very short walk. I mean, even in the cold weather it is today, this would be very simple.
Perfect. This is where you want to get the party started. Once again, we're down here at the Salt Mine City, 8th and R. It's probably been open for a little over 2.5 months. It's a great little place here and a great atmosphere. And then obviously, when the weather gets better, even though, we got a little while before that happens.
Yeah, it's true.
Great seating outside as well. And then if you get one of those odd days in Nebraska where you get a 50 or 60, this would be a great place to sit out there and people watch. And so we're live down here today, anxiously waiting our Huskers to tip off against those Indiana Hoosiers. Maybe a little payback for the football team. But Jake, I wanted to ask you, you're going to the game.
I am.
And you know what? For
is
people
this attire proper?
Well, I'm just about to give you props, man.
I'm sorry.
I did, I came in, I saw Jake's pullover, and I was very, very impressed.
Thank you.
And it looks good. Dapper. My man's dapper. Look, that is pretty sweet, Jake. If I wasn't significantly bigger than you, you might go in there with your dress shirt on there, but you're going to represent it well. I want to know what your thoughts are on the game tonight.
Well, like you said, this is redemption for two things. It's redemption on last Saturday's blowout loss to Michigan State, a game that I don't think anybody saw. Not surprised you lost that game. It's a tough place to play. Michigan State, Nebraska has won in that building twice under Tim Miles. They beat him up there. Right. That's been a couple years now, but it got ugly in the second half, and that happens in basketball. But I think you saw this team in several games in November and early December. It's pretty solid. I mean, the Creighton win, I know that's not a great Creighton team right now, but they beat Kansas. Yeah. That's going to be a tournament team. Even North Florida. I know people say North Florida, whatever, Jake. That team had beaten South Carolina and Georgia Tech, and they put up 100-plus points on Georgia Tech. Nebraska beat them by 31.
Right.
The problem that I think you'd agree with me, Jay, is that in December it's hard to get a flow. All these games are so far apart.
Yeah, it is.
Here we are. It is Friday. Your last game was Saturday, a game you got blown out in. And Fred Hoiberg even said after the game, I didn't like our effort in practice. They had just played on a Sunday. They went from Sunday to Saturday to Friday. That's 3 games in 2 weeks. That's not very much basketball being played.
Yeah, and basketball is a game you want to have rhythm. You want to, and especially when you essentially have 7-8 new guys. It's not like you're bringing back 7-8 guys in the rotate. Everybody knows each other, so you're still trying to build that continuity. And you got to think it was actually really, really slow moving schedule. even from when they played St. Mary's up there in South Dakota. I mean, they really have only played 4 games in really 3.5 weeks. And so, he didn't like the practice, but I think that's just part of the growing pains. And obviously, sometimes when you're growing as a team, when you look really, really good against Creighton, you beat the Florida team and you beat some other teams. But then when you go up to Michigan State and you're down by 10 at half, I can't speak for you, I felt like, okay, well, it's only a matter of time for Nebraska goes on their run. Being down by 10 at Michigan State, you kind of expect it, right? Tom Izzo always has a good game plan for Fred Hoiberg teams, especially when they're playing at home. Then Nebraska's going to get a chance to make their run, and they never got out of first gear coming out of halftime.
They did not.
They got outscored, I think 30-5 or something like that over like an 8-9 minute period.
They trailed
the game
at
was
one
over.
point by 42 points.
Yeah,
42 points, and they lost by 37.
Yeah.
It was a terrible showing. The offense went cold. Defense kind of, when offense doesn't go well, and they're making everything, it's just hard to stay in the game.
Here's where I knew it's one of those games, Jake. And in football, in college football, you probably won't get blown out by like Bama and those guys won't get blown out by 40. You'll lose. The big upset will be like Vanderbilt, right, where they get some lucky plays. I remember the guard. I think he's number 11. His last name is Spears, and he shot one from the corner, a 3. Good shot, but it hit the other side of the side of the rim, went straight up in the air, came down, toilet bowled, went in. Those things that happen, you're like, it's just not our day.
Not our night.
And they were extremely aggressive coming out. I think they beat us to a lot of the 50-50 balls, the hustle plays. And then you got to sit on the shelf and wait, a whole week pretty much till you play again. But the good thing for Nebraska, you play at home. You play against the Indiana team that you match up well against, that you had some recent success against, and so Mike Woodson and all that stuff.
Right.
And then also I like that Nebraska is a bigger team and they play bigger versus I think they had to manufacture physicality last year by defensive rotations and be really, really hard doubling down on the post. They have some size in there. And so you need the guys that should play well, whether it's Gary or Williams or whoever it is. The big guys on the team have to play well, and Nebraska can pull off this victory at home tonight.
Well, Indiana is a good team. They're not a great team. And again, they've got, like you said, they got some big guys. It's going to be tough. They got a 7-footer who's had a good season so far. But they're not a team that's daunting.
Right.
Nebraska beat these guys soundly last year on the road. They also, I think they won in the Big Ten tournament against Indiana.
Beat them all 3 times. Beat them at home too.
He smoked them. So Indiana wants redemption, saying we don't want that to happen again. That was an embarrassing year for Indiana. Nebraska, of course, a tournament team. Indiana struggled. But this is you can't let their motivation to get back at you beat your motivation to defend home court. You've not lost yet on your home court. Your 2 losses this year, of course.
Neutral site and on the road.
St. Mary's, that's a good loss. They're 9-1. Last time I checked, they're 9-1. Very good team. They're 1 loss to Arizona State, and then of course, the loss you had to Michigan State. That's never a bad loss on the road.
Right.
So through 8 games, obviously you want to be 8-0, but with a brand new roster and replacing a guy like Tominaga, trying to find your energy bug, energizer guy. I mean, I like what I've seen from Berke, who has been banged up the last couple games.
Growing
we'll see
injury.
He plays tonight. I assume he will. But it's through 8 games. I'm saying I'm pleased. I was concerned after 2 games. They didn't look good.
No, they did
but
not.
Something gelled right before that Creighton game, and they looked good before this Michigan State game.
I was thinking, I was right along your thought process with that, Jake. I felt like the first 2 games, I was like, man, this is going to be a tough season because it was tough to watch, right? It wasn't the normal Fred Hoiberg flow of offense, and we probably got spoiled last year with Casey and then Rick Mass and all that. But I think when they played St. Mary's, and yes, they lost the game, but I think toward the last 6-7 minutes, they found something. They really did. It looked a lot better. They were competitive. They played situational basketball really well. They had better continuity, and then obviously they took off from there. And then you got hit with a buzzsaw, up there in East Lansing. So I think it's just going to be one of those things where you're going to see Nebraska throughout the season, 3-4 good games, 1 hiccup, maybe a loss, 3, 4, 5 good games, and then hopefully they'll catch their rhythm, consistent rhythm through the Big Ten and hopefully on to the NCAA tournament.
Well, also, Jay, I mean, you finally saw Nebraska, not really versus Creighton, but in the games that followed, you saw Connor Essegian find some 3-point shooting. And the big concern was, okay, without Tominaga and a couple guys from last year, who's making threes? Bryce Williams is capable. He's more of a mid-range guy.
Yeah.
He does not like to shoot threes. You see, for him, 3 attempts is a lot in a game for 3-point land. But you saw at one point, Essegian was, I think, 6 of 7 or 7 of 8 in the game that followed against South Dakota.
Yeah.
He can get hot. But the problem is, as a lot of guys are, they're streaky. You don't have a guy you can rely on, and that can always make shots for you. So, Barricade can make threes, doesn't like to shoot a bunch of threes. You don't have a team that relies on the 3, which is a good thing.
Right. But you want to have that.
But you want to have guys
knockdown.
you can go to that can make a shot.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in order for it to be consistent is consistently have good spacing on offense. Essegian and sometimes Gary, when he gets his, the fast breaks going and maybe get some dunks, his 3-point shot is a lot more effective. And with Barricade and all those guys, with the spacing on the court, if that's well, and Fred Hoiberg will tell you, the spacing on the court, the flow, the passes, being on time or on target, the 3-point percentage will go up. And then when it's not, you got to be able to lock down on defense. You got a defensive rebound. You got to hit free throws, and that's where Bryce or Williams has got to really come in, because that's where his mid-range game goes, and that's where he's kind of like a little bit of Sam Griesel, where he can play back to the basket. And when, Fred Hoiberg really, really likes, okay, we want to stop a run. Let's get our big guard in there. Let's either get an easy bucket with the mismatch or get to the free throw line. So they got to continue to do what they've done well, but then also be able to dig themselves out of a hole to keep the game within reach until they catch rhythm again. And that is where they are in the maturation process of a new team.
Right.
And I like where they're at right now. I think that it's a good team. I like the mix of the team. I like the energy. You got Sam Hoiberg, you got Jacobson, you got some energy guys,
and those are local guys.
And local guys, right? And those guys know their role. They play their role really, really well. So everybody's all in, and it's not. There's no finger pointing or anything like that. It's what I guarantee you that flight back from East Lansing was pretty quiet. And so they knew what they needed to do as far as how to show up for the next week or so in practice with the right mindset of not only righting the wrong of the representation that they had up there in East Lansing, but then also getting ready for a game Indiana team. And yes, I understand what you're saying. Indiana's looking for revenge. But at the end of the day, Nebraska's a better team man for man.
I think they are.
Right. And so yes, they're going to come out excited and wanting to play and get some get back. But ultimately, your teamwork and your skill set should overtake Indiana and lead you to victory.
Looking at the schedule again, Indiana, both teams. Indiana's 8-2 coming in terms of teams they've beat. They beat Minnesota, who's going to be a bottom tier Big Ten team,
right.
Beat them by 15 on Monday. They don't really have a marquee win. They were ranked early on. They were ranked 17th preseason. Indiana was in basketball. They got blown out by Gonzaga. They got killed by Louisville 89-61
Chucky Herbrand, I think, had 30 points.
He was good in that game. So I mean, they're a team with the pulse. Obviously, Nebraska. Last time I checked, Nebraska right now is a 4.5 point favorite in this ball game. But here's the deal. I know it's early. We're talking about a game on December 13th, but I was looking if you care about projections of how the seasons will go. Joe, I know, but I'm just giving you an example of why people are invested and interested in this team. Like Joe Lunardi, bracketologist, ESPN, has both teams. It says the winner of this game would be technically, as of today, last four in the dance.
Yeah.
The loser would be one of the first four out. So it's saying they're both tournament quality teams. That's why, yes, this game, if you lose, won't make or break your season. You got a couple games to go in Hawaii, and then one more game before you get the conference play for the full part in January. But it's a game you want to win. You don't want to lose any games on your home court, especially to teams that are unranked.
And a Big Ten game. Yeah, and this is a game where we talk about Essegian. We talk about Gary. We'll talk about Williams. But this is a game I think Raleigh has to step up.
Raleigh Worcester. We haven't seen a lot from him in the last couple of games.
No, but this is a game that's meant for him.
I agree.
He's going to get a lot of opportunities. Number one is he's going to be able to be feisty, active hands, active feet on defense. But I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to get out and finish on the break, get some mid-range, and obviously his three, which will open up the other guys. And sometimes in these games, Jake, when you got two like teams, when they look across the court, they see the same team. And so you need your fourth or fifth option to be the lead dog early and then let the big dogs finish, because everybody knows where Gary's going to be, where Sejan's going to be, and then obviously where Williams is going to be, and that's where Raleigh can really take advantage. And so it's out there for the taking. This is going to be an easy game.
No,
Mike Woodson, and he's looking to get back to Indiana standards and his standards as well. And so they're going to come in tough, and so Nebraska's got to earn it. And quite frankly, this is the last 2 or 3 possession game, and that's where Nebraska has to really do well. I call it essentially the special teams of basketball, situational basketball. Nebraska has to be excellent down the stretch.
I mean, Jay, I just think back to last year, like you said earlier, it's still impressive to me that Nebraska went 3-0 against Indiana.
Yeah,
this is a team.
It's hard to beat a team twice, let alone 3.
I know that Mike Woodson is not the most popular coach in this fan base, and he was on the hot seat. People thought he might not return.
Yeah,
again, with the way Nebraska beat them down in that tournament game, people thought Woodson's done. He got ejected from that game, or he got pissed off, got ejected. That's the last we ever see of Woodson, but he's back.
Yeah.
So he's got something to prove. And this is a guy that had success with the Knicks, with the Hawks. Like, he is a good basketball coach. He's not going to go out and just say, "Listen, I'm bad." He's good.
And
coach.
Also, he was a great player
He
himself.
was a great player.
He's very, very competitive. I'm sure he, in his own mind, he's been looking forward to this game. They just played on Monday, so you could probably say a little bit more battle tested. Confidence is high, but I can guarantee you, he's reminded them of all the 3 losses last year.
Sure.
And,
he should. If he's a good coach, we think he is. He
right. So,
that.
they just beat Minnesota by 15. Anytime that you can win by mid to high double digits in the Big Ten, you're playing some good basketball. I don't care if Minnesota's projected to be lower. That's a team that anytime that you can beat a Big Ten team like that, you played pretty well. And then even before that, they beat Miami of Ohio, Sam Houston. Those are ones you're supposed to. But I think coming down the stretch here, in the last 2 or 3 possessions, Nebraska's going to have to make a play on the defensive end to pull out this victory.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I would be surprised, Jay, if Nebraska won this game comfortably. But I would say this. I was surprised that Nebraska won comfortably at Creighton. I was surprised they beat North Florida by 31. Like this game on paper, the spread 3.5, 4.5 seems right. It should come down to the last minute or two where it's in question. But I guess I would be surprised if Nebraska got blown out. I don't expect that, but
no, by no means. I mean, if Nebraska comes out lackadaisical, if Nebraska gets blown out, it's going to be Nebraska. I think they're going to come out very, really motivated. I think they're focused. I think Fred Hoiberg over the last 2 or 3 years has done a really good job following up. I guess bad losses are not a good look of their, team.
Right. They have.
So, right. And you remember where he took off the, the sports science guys where they kind of, measure how much work. He's like, oh, no, we getting back to work.
Yep.
We're going to be physical. So I think that's part of the plan this tonight, and then also what they've done all week. So I expect and fully assume Nebraska will come out and put a good effort. And then once they get a good dial in on Indiana, I think the defense of and the size of Nebraska's, and I think Nebraska's size advantage is at the 1, 2, and 3 spot. The size of the guys. Where Nebraska generally has only had a couple big guys. That's a big looking team coming out there with a lot of skill.
Yeah, and I go back to again, Nebraska was concerned about Ryan Kalkbrenner when he played Creighton. Well, guess what? You had guys to defend him. When Maya got in foul trouble, here comes Andrew Morgan. Here comes Berke Buchtengel. I mean, they've got 3 legitimate guys that can play in the post.
Right,
now,
and you got Gary that can kind of.
Juwan Gary's an alpha. He's a great rebounder. And the thing we have not mentioned yet, Jay, is that what was so disappointing, and this goes back to effort and energy, is I don't care who you're playing. I don't care what team you are. If you are minus 29 on the boards, it was 48-19 rebounds last week. Oh, we got some update. Update from our friend Marty Roper, the man who owns this place. We're at Salt Mine City, 8th and R. He says, we got Ybor. Was it Ebor sandwiches planned to feed us later.
There we go.
How about that?
Yeah.
Will they be here all night or just? Okay.
Cool.
Ebor sandwiches
down
till
here,
at least 8 o'clock when they're out.
So come on down
to Salt Mine City.
Yeah, 8th and R. Pre-game in here before Nebraska's 7 p.m. tip. I am enjoying the single axle, Jake.
Well,
and I know you're liking the Jake break.
I'm having the Jake break. I want to give a couple before we get to break. I want to give a couple more beers. So
Okay.
you're having the single axle, which is a lager, American light lager.
Yep.
They also have a very popular beer, the Gates of Munich Oktoberfest. Marty said that one's been selling like hotcakes right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Then they have a Beehive Brown Ale. They got the B.O.B. Blood Orange Blonde. Sounds delightful. We got Lug Nuts. It's a porter, an American porter here
Right.
at Salt Mine City. We got the Hauling Oats. That's an oatmeal stout. Sounds
like that.
delightful.
Yeah.
Got the Palachik Lager. I can see things right. That's of course a Czech Pale Lager. We got Uncle Otto. That's a Kolsch.
Oh,
It's a lighter beer, Kolsch. Then we also have the Wiggle Wagon. That's an American IPA.
Yeah.
And two more. The Beechin IPA, American IPA, and the Triple Axle, 6.8%. American IPA.
That's
By the way,
New England IPA.
Yeah, that's the Bill Belichick.
Bill
one.
Belichick sending off beer.
And on Friday, they've got daily specials, but on Fridays, which is today, $6 IPAs. So you can
right.
have the Beechin, the Triple Axle, the Wiggle Wagon. That's what I call a good night.
It's a great night.
A great night.
And when you pregame here, get you a sandwich. You get it over there. It's just a block and a half, if that. You can't even get cold walking over there, Jake.
No.
This is the perfect
If
place.
you're cold, that's on you.
Yeah,
That's a you problem.
Yeah.
That's
the only way that we
want
want
Salt Mine City problem. That's a you
the only
problem.
way we allow you to be cold is because you had a lot of consumption of beer.
Fair.
That's fair?
That's fair.
Yeah, because that's fine.
Too
Because they
many
got cold
suds.
beer here, too.
They do.
So, anyways, Jay Foreman, Jake Sorensen, we're going to go to a quick break, come back. I think Austin has made his way down. But if not, then we'll continue it on. We're live again down here at Salt Mine City, 8th and R. Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CR-FR Motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CR-F Trail Bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love. During the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, you can slay the streets in style with a Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CR-F 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods all year long. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
Make the short drive to Pleasantdale and enjoy a great meal at the P-Dale Pub. From prime rib, patty melts, ribeyes, drink specials, and so much more, the P-Dale Pub provides a small-town feel with exceptional service and delicious food. Visit the P-Dale Pub in Pleasantdale today and watch their Facebook page each week to find out their dinner specials. At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through December 15th, enjoy thick-cut Iowa pork chops for $1.99 per pound. Boneless beef crock-pot roast for $4.99 per pound. Plus, they're now taking orders for prime rib, filet mignon, and other holiday items. And don't forget the $50 holiday box now through Christmas. Always a great gift. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Join us for Old School this Friday, December 13th at Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Enjoy their great beer selection as you pregame for the Nebraska-Indiana men's basketball game at Pinnacle Bank Arena at 7 o'clock. That's Old School this Friday at Salt Mine City at 8th and R.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through December 17th is 15% off all wine and spirits and 25% off on thermometers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Make the short drive to Pleasantdale and enjoy a great meal at the P-Dale Pub. From prime rib, patty melts, ribeyes, drink specials, and so much more, the P-Dale Pub provides a small-town feel with exceptional service and delicious food. Visit the P-Dale Pub in Pleasantdale today and watch their Facebook page each week to find out their dinner specials.
The Rabbit Hole Bakery, located at 8th and Q in the Haymarket, is the ideal place for fresh breakfast items or desserts made daily. Cream puffs, cinnamon rolls, carrot cake, sweet potato, pecan cookies, brownies, blondies. Do I need to keep going? What about bread pudding with homemade bourbon caramel sauce? Stop by the Rabbit Hole Bakery at 8th and Q in the Haymarket today to satisfy your cravings. And if you're looking for larger group orders, they do that too. Order ahead on their website at therabbitholebakery.com today.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today. The Huskers are headed to the Pinstripe Bowl. Cheer on the Huskers in New York City on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour offered by the Nebraska Alumni Association. Your bowl package includes a 2-night hotel stay, round-trip transportation on game day, pregame events, and more. Spots are limited, so book your spot now on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour with the Nebraska Alumni Association. Go to huskerfantravel.com or call 888-831-0858. That's 888-831-0858 or huskerfantravel.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We're the Old School crew. Once again, we are live down here at Salt Mine City. Come on down and join us at the Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R, right by the Hilton Garden Inn. We're pre-gaming for Nebraska against Indiana. Tips off at 7 p.m. A lot of great beers. I have the single axle. And Austin,
I got the triple.
You got the triple axle.
That's something about, Jay. Not one, not two, but three.
But you know what that is?
What's that?
That's a strong New England IPA. That's the Bill Belichick I'm out of here special.
Bill Belichick mode, Bill O'Brien mode.
Bill O'Brien mode.
All of the above.
You
Boston
better,
Celtics
yeah,
mode.
Yeah, you better buckle up. Anyways, we're giving away free hats and T-shirts. Also, there's sandwiches available until they run out, but most likely till 8 p.m. But back to the show here, Austin. Appreciate you walking down. The elements of we're starting to get our first little brisk cold weather here in Lincoln.
I need to be slew-footed, Jay. It's the freezing rain. I don't have the same traction, so you win. Evolutionary your head.
Sometimes you're just blessed. But anyways, Austin, one thing that's getting a little slick is that we saw last night with Thursday Night Football, Rams against the Niners. It was pretty much a chance for the Niners to realistically stay in realistic view of playoffs. The goal should have been both teams, if I'm a 49ers player, coach, or whatever, that we're both walking off the field with the same record. That didn't happen. It was an ugly game, all field goals. But that, and the Rams were able to pull it out, and they earned it. Brock Purdy threw a late interception, but what overtook that was linebacker Devondre Campbell decided to say, you know what? I'm not going to play.
Y'all have fun. That's
you guys have fun. Which when they show because they must have, I think the network thought he was going to start because they showed his intro. And then when they follow you walking off the field, you got kicked off the sideline by Shanahan. It just wasn't a good look. And I think it was magnified because of this. I mean, this is what I know. Dre Greenlaw, who is the part of the tandem in there, obviously got hurt last year in the Super Bowl, unfortunately.
Might have swung the Super Bowl to the Chiefs when it happened.
It did because he was about to put up a legendary game. He came back. They started him. More also, here's the backstory that they're not talking about on ESPN. The two backup guys who were a little banged up, they got hurt as well. So as it looks like Shanahan were going to play him. They had no intentions of playing him. By no means do I even try to convince anybody to say what he did in reaction of not playing for 3 quarters is right. But I also think you have to understand the mindset of a player. Number one, of a player. Number two, a player of his stature. When you see that type of reaction with a veteran player, 9-year player, has got it out the mud. As like you said, he was really, really good at Green Bay, very, very even better with Atlanta, signed a 1-year deal, very productive this year. Now, he's been starting since day one, second or third on the team on tackles because Fred Warner is playing all the third downs and nickels and stuff. So he's a very productive player. His reaction is a lack of communication because if you had no intentions of playing him, then you don't suit him up. But you probably had him suit up because of the other guys that I mentioned that were compromised, who then got hurt. And they're like, oh, by the way, you are our emergency plan. Now we need you to play. That's a prideful dude. Now, I think he let his pride get in the way. And there's an old story, Austin, before I'm gonna tell you this that was told to me, and it helped me extend my career. And then we'll get your thoughts on it. I was blessed enough to meet, talk, and kind of ride around the golf court with Deacon Jones.
The preacher.
Bruce Smith is the all-time sack leader, but Deacon Jones has like twice as many. And it was at the point of my career I just had got, really hurt, and it was year 7, and he was asking what my status was, and I was like, well, I'd like to start, and they're only, it's kind of like situational or backups and special teams. He said, listen, son, you fighting pride right now. He's like, you got to get that check. He's like, eventually you'll get back on the field. He's like, that pride is a hard thing to swallow. He's like, it's a big old pill, right? He's like, but if you drink enough water, it'll go down. It might hurt, right?
But it's going down.
He said it's going down. And I never forgot that, and it changed my mindset, and I was able to kind of piece together 2 more seasons, never to what I liked, never really got out there to be it, but it really changed my mindset on it. And so if I could ever offer any advice to Devondre, I mean, he probably needs to social media say, listen, apologize to his teammates, because that's not who he is.
No.
He's a Minnesota Gopher.
Sure.
Great player. And he's always a solid teammate. And most players can understand, but he just won't play for the 49ers again, unfortunately, and fortunately for them.
So let's take this back to you in your situation, right? You're fighting that pride. Those last 2 years, Jay, remind people who you were with those last 2 years.
Well, I was with the 49ers,
Yes.
one of them,
Uh-huh.
and another one was with the Giants. Actually, I did play a lot for the Giants. So
Two good organizations, two
great
storied organizations.
Two-story organizations. I always thought, like, I wish I got there in these organizations. I love Buffalo, but so if I could have got there in my prime, I could have really did some damage. But look, man, I tell people all the time, look, there's a thin line from playing on TV, whether it's college or pros, and sitting on the couch. It is, and it's razor thin. You can't even see it. It's so thin. And when people say it, they're like, yeah, whatever you start. I mean, I started 7 years in a row. Then I'm sitting around waiting to get a call. And so for him, where he's thinking, I got the call, I came in, answered the bell. This guy's coming off a really, horrific injury, and you just leapfrog me into starting. That was never in the negotiation.
Right.
It was like, oh, you got a chance to start. We need you to start. And yeah, he's still rehabbing. It was not like take this job and hold it until this dude comes. And so, it's pride. It's emotional. I think it's a buildup over the week. I
the
think
week and the whole season, right?
Yes.
This is not the season 49ers wanted. There's been a lot of injuries for
yeah.
that team, for an organization that, like you said, coming off a Super Bowl run, disappointed, a team that has done a good job, Jay, of really extending its window.
Yep.
Right? They didn't do what the Rams did, go all in for one, have to tear down, rebuild, and draft all right. This is an A1 organization that's made a lot of the right decisions.
Right.
Then you start to hear some stuff start trickling out, right? The Bosa contract situation. And then all the discourse around Purdy that was completely out in their control, but out of their control. Debo Samuel wants a new contract.
Right.
Brandon Ayuk was the biggest one. So there's already a lot of drama there.
Trent Williams
holding out.
Yeah.
And now they're not playing their best. Guys are banged up. They're injured. It's not the season they envisioned. It's not a good division right there. Right now, right? No one's running away with it. It has been tight all year. No one saw the Cardinals being in this race as long as they have been. Or Seattle. Or the Rams, the playoff team last year. Who knew what they were going to be? San Francisco is kicking itself for not being better right now. But that's okay. Stuff is out of your control. It's the NFL. Crap happens. How do you deal with it? How do you handle it? Clearly, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan appear to be handling it by going into themselves, sticking to themselves, not making it about the players and communicating. Devondre Campbell, right? The bright spot in not even a terrible year, right? Worse than their standard. But think about how many NFL teams had higher expectations than where they're at right now. Even in a bad year for San Francisco, their talent has them just on the fringes of the race. Most other teams are way gone by now.
Yeah.
So Devondre Campbell's, he's like, I've helped us get to this point, and this is how you're treating me.
Yeah.
He didn't handle it well. It wasn't handled well to let it even get to that point. But there's been so many either small missteps or just mishandlings of things that were very loosely in San Francisco's control.
Yeah, I mean, and then also you got McCaffrey being injured and kind of, that really derailed your whole, he's the lifeline of that team.
Yeah.
It's just been one of those years. I think the accumulation of those deep runs for San Francisco. Then you had a little side note where Steve Smith, the former Panther receiver and Baltimore Ravens receiver, said, you got to look at Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. What are they doing for all these guys to get hurt? So now your success, everybody's taking shots at you.
Yeah.
Right. You had Trent Williams hold out essentially to the week of the first game. That's your
culture.
That's your culture. Your underboss.
Yeah.
So the fabric of the team was never there. And like with Devondre, I think, listen, man, it's and I said, it's crazy. I just said this yesterday. And I said, if I could have did one thing differently was handle the situation when I got traded from Buffalo to Houston. I wish I'd have had a year in between because it's very emotional. Got a couple penalties. But I said this, coaches last in the league a lot, like Kyle Shanahan and even John Lynch. If it doesn't work out in San Francisco, they will be GM and coach somewhere else.
By next season.
Yeah, and 2 or 3 times over the lifeline of their career. They're very petty. They always forget something that they feel is like you did them wrong. And I hope it doesn't derail his career as far as he never plays again, because I know he's a very effective player. He has a lot of stuff going on. And I think just the way the season has been a very emotional season, not only from Brandon Ayuk. What is it? Lenore, he had some personal issues.
Lenore.
And then starting with Trent Williams. It's just it's a team that it's a season that you came in with a ton of high hopes,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see this can happen in college.
Yeah,
it happened a couple of times, even like with Scott Frost, where we were rolling along, and the next thing you know, Adrian got hurt in practice.
Look at Arizona this last year.
But think about going back to how you can kind of make apples to apples. Nebraska was starting to roll, and Adrian got hurt like on the first or last second, or like 1 or 2 plays left in practice.
That's right.
Big Riley, the big defense fell on him, and that derailed the whole season offensively. And then he went out and broke his jaw. So it was those things can happen. It's one thing after another, and sometimes they always say it's harder to repeat, but it's even harder to repeat as the runner up. And San Francisco has always been able to do it, and it's just been one of those seasons that they got to try to battle it out. I do think that Kyle Shanahan and Lynch need to really, really look in there and see where the leadership is at, because this season is a byproduct of what was it the D coordinator last year? Was it Weeks? Steve Wilks, who's widely respected. When you saw last year, I remember we were at the Super Bowl. I was there with my man Jake Sorensen. We're there for a week. We had a beat writer for the San Francisco 49ers, and she said that they had been fighting, or Wilks had been talking about the lack of effort and respect for the game defensively. And that's when you had Chase Young on one end, Randy Gregory as the backup. You had 2 or 3 guys inside that you paid big money to, and then you had Joey Bosa, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, before he got in, and
Hufanga,
all those guys.
Lenore.
And you're getting ran through, because Detroit essentially shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
This season is a byproduct of some of the things they got away with last year that's coming to fruition. So the coach, GM, and the leadership have really got to get a handle on it.
And that's where I don't think, tell me if I'm wrong, the 49ers couldn't afford to not cut Campbell after what happened, after the way he showed up. Right? You have to, right?
Plus, it gives you like somebody to blame.
Right, but that's just the thing, right? You always go back to the Game of Thrones honor killing. I don't want to do this, but I have to do this. Right?
They wanted to do this.
Well, of course they did, because he showed that up. But is there a world in which the right move for San Francisco would have been for John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan to call a team meeting this morning or whenever they get into their next meeting and say, hey, you guys know who Devondre is. This isn't who he normally is. We didn't handle this well. We're going to keep him around because we mishandled that. We know he's going to talk with him first before you do this. But John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan take the ownership of it and say, we know this isn't who he is. We didn't communicate. We're going to learn from this. Is there a world in which that's the move instead of cutting him?
I think the move right there is, because it kind of could bring you closer together. And now that's if Devondre wants to be around. I think part of him walking off the field, he wants to get somewhere else. I think part of it, the conversations that he's had with his agent is like, I need to be somewhere else because you feel disrespected. You're not going to be appreciated. All that stuff is true.
Yeah.
The one thing that's also true is how you handle it, because you got to be professional. And sometimes
event plus response equals outcome.
And sometimes you got to be more of a man than the situation calls for. And it didn't happen. But yeah, you would have liked to see them, patch it together. But I think emotions were on their side, and it's easier. Say, I don't want to ever be around that guy. You heard George Kittle. I don't ever want to be around that. But I would tell you like this: I've never had a teammate walk out like that, during a game. I've had teammates leave in the middle of the night in training camp. Now that's a personal choice, because they probably figure like, okay, I might not make it. This, and this. And I've also played with guys that quit covertly too. I probably look down more on the you quit covertly versus that, because
at least we know
we're in there.
At least you told us.
Yeah, I see you leaving, and you don't know if he's sick or you got an emergency call or anything like that. Either way, it's not a good situation. Not a good situation on Thursday Night Football. Essentially, an extension of Monday Night Football. All eyes on San Francisco and their organization. Is just not a good look. Good look for him. He's better than that. Hopefully, something positive can come out from it from the the rest of the season for 49ers. Hopefully, they don't banish him and blacklist him, because look, guys that are playing in the NFL right now have done far worse. Right. And there's guys that played in the NFL for a long time that have done far worse, even though this is pretty bad. But with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, come back. I want to get your thoughts, Austin. Just initially, just a quick segment on Malachi Coleman going up to I-80 to 35W up there to Minneapolis, and he's probably hanging out. I bet you he's probably at J.D. Hoyt's with P.J. Fleck right now.
Rowing that boat.
Rowing that boat. We're going to see if he's going to row that boat up there, or what your thoughts are if he does. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through December 17th is 15% off all wine and spirits and 25% off on thermometers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
The Rabbit Hole Bakery, located at 8th and Q in the Haymarket, is the ideal place for fresh breakfast items or desserts made daily. Cream puffs, cinnamon rolls, carrot cake, sweet potato, pecan cookies, brownies, blondies. Do I need to keep going? What about bread pudding with homemade bourbon caramel sauce? Stop by the Rabbit Hole Bakery at 8th and Q in the Haymarket today to satisfy your cravings. And if you're looking for larger group orders, they do that too. Order ahead on their website at therabbitholebakery.com today.
Join us for Old School this Friday, December 13th at Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Enjoy their great beer selection as you pregame for the Nebraska-Indiana men's basketball game at Pinnacle Bank Arena at 7 o'clock. That's Old School this Friday at Salt Mine City at 8th and R.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2025 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf, inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly cloudy skies to start, then freezing rain arriving this afternoon. Be careful on the roads. Should see a high around 30. Tonight, wintry mix continuing, low around 28. Tomorrow, we'll see a chance of light rain and snow throughout the day with a high near 40. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleck at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Overman? We're back live here at Salt Mine City, 8th and R, right on the corner, right by Hilton Garden Inn. And once again, we're pre-gaming all the way up to tip at 7 p.m. Indiana Hoosiers are in town taking on our Huskers. We got plenty of beer specials out here. We got the single axle. We got the Gates of Munich, Jake Break, triple axle, what Austin is having. And also, just for today only or tonight only, $6 drafts IPAs. And then also, if you come down, pre-game with us, we'll give you a free hat or T-shirt or both. Or,
pretty cool too.
So, yeah,
I like them.
Yeah, good deal. Good colors too. Good. I like the good soft.
Yes, that is the correct way to make a T-shirt.
Yeah, so we got it going on here, and this Salt Mine City has been open for a little over 2 months. Great atmosphere, very spacious. We're looking at 3 TVs. We got 3 different games on. So if you don't have a ticket to the game, you can come down here and get some good beer, good libations, and good crowd. And great service down here. But Austin, got a couple minutes. The news out that came out, I think he tweeted it out. Is our own, or once our own, and local here. Malachi Coleman is up in the MPLS visiting the Gophers. Quite frankly, we play him next year. So what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, he's been in the portal, and people go into the portal for different reasons. He went in very early, right before we became bowl eligible. But obviously, there's some interest from big-time schools, and Minnesota happens to be one of them.
That's just the thing. You look at the places he's scheduled to visit. Minnesota, I think Iowa State was on the list as well. A lot of people would say, oh, that's a far cry from his SEC offers. Well, guess what? Big Ten and the SEC are the 2 big conferences. Is it Georgia? Is it Alabama? No, it's not. But you're still an athlete looking to stay in not just the Power 4, but the top half of the Power 4. That is certainly a testament.
Iowa State's a great program.
It is, right. Yeah. First 10-win season. Just short of the college football playoff. So, yeah, it seems like he has some pretty good offers lined up. It always hurts to see one of your own go to a team that was never really a rival, but a team that you just didn't like to play. Minnesota has just been a pain in Nebraska's butt the entire Big Ten era. I think back to like Nevante Dickerson sort of situation, and all the guys that Iowa has stolen before. So best of luck to Malachi Coleman. Hope he finds a fit. Hope he finds a place that he can be happy. I'll just say this on the Nebraska end of things, Jay. Nebraska couldn't not get Malachi Coleman as a recruit.
Yeah, they
had to get it, right?
Yeah.
It was Scott Frost, but player version, essentially, right? With all the hype, all the momentum behind him, you had to find a way to keep him home. But I don't think Nebraska was the best spot at the time for Malachi Coleman. I think if this is a program that has its feet under it, that knows what to do with a raw athlete like him, it's the perfect incubator, close to home, where he's comfortable with the coaching staff that cares for him, his charity is set up and everything already in the NIL era. Nebraska couldn't not get him, but I just hope that whenever the next Malachi Coleman comes along, whether it's next year, 2 years, 3 years, whenever,
I think Nebraska will be better.
They'll be better situated for themselves to get the most out of a player of that caliber and to make sure a player of that caliber sticks around and has a great experience at Nebraska.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Sometimes when these portal, I won't call them issues, guys go in the portal, whether they go fully and go somewhere else or they go and then come back, it's just situations, and wide receiver is very, very hard, and it's because you could be a 4-star recruit, but it's really, really top heavy based on potential. Obviously, you see him walking around 6'5", 4'4", 4'3", 40, track athlete and star as well, versus say a receiver from Texas or something that might be 6'3", same height, weight, and speed, but he's more refined and ready to go. And so anytime you lose a local product, it sucks, but ultimately I just think the timing, and then we brought in veteran guys, and some guys progressed a little bit faster. I think he got dinged up a little bit. So really is just a situation that didn't gel, as quick as you'd like. And then you had the staff change over. So
just don't let him toast you for 150 next year.
Boy, hey,
don't do it.
Hey, I'll tell you this.
We're
going to give you the complimentary one catch, and it's going to be a hitch. You better get out of bounds. We ain't letting you take the top off it. But, hopefully, listen, you wish them all the luck, all the best luck in the world. And also the dynamics of college football change with the 105, which we've talked about. So I think the biggest thing you just need to do is just wish him all the best. And, look, he's from Lincoln. Nobody's going to turn their nose up at him. He had to make the best decision for himself, and hopefully it works out with him, whether it's Minnesota, Iowa State, or anywhere else, that he's going to go visit, and he'll be successful. He's got a lot of work to do, like everybody else, in or out of the portal. And so long as he attacks it with the right mindset, he's shown you he'll be successful.
And you hope that PJ Fleck, if that's where he decides to go as the coach, to bring in Advin, Matt Campbell, those are two guys that have a track record, right, of bringing the best out of their guys. Not a lot of recruits of that caliber for either of those schools in history where Malachi Coleman was rated.
Yeah.
And again, the guy's not damaged goods because he went in the transfer portal.
Oh, no.
Dealing with the injury, the same athletic potential is still there. Sounds like he got over that injury.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for whichever of those schools or whoever a mystery school in the mix is, I wonder how many calibers or how many prospects of his caliber they've had before, and will they have the plan in place to develop him and work him up to where he can be?
I'm hoping whoever's advising him is making sure, obviously off the field and all that stuff, but whoever's advising them is really. Oh, that looks scrumdiddlyumptious. You made me.
One spicy, one regular.
You pick.
It's up to you.
I have two of each, so you can.
You know what? I'll go spicy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I'll go a little
Thank
spicy.
You very
Thank you very much. I think hopefully whoever's advising him, talking about a plan for him, making sure he has the right support off the field, but on the field development and a little patience. And so PJ Fleck is probably not trying to let him leave Minneapolis without a commitment, and I know they can sign now. So we'll see where it goes, and we'll keep an eye on it. We wish him all the best. And he's a great kid, very, very good, great story. Even in Minneapolis, I bet you he could really expand his brand as far as his charity and stuff like that. They're very supportive up there. So he's got a big decision to make, but you hope he makes the right one and it works out for him in the future. But had a couple other local kids from different places. We had a kid from Auburn, Michael Riley. He just actually committed to Texas A&M. A couple other kids there in the portal. So it just happens. It's the way it is. Every year it's going to be a one-year rental. But nevertheless, the one thing that we're doing, we're going to go to break, come back at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. We're going to dive into – we need to look up the portal numbers.
We'll find it.
I love looking at the portal numbers. And then we'll talk about it. We'll go into a little bit more depth of what it's like to get a former number one prospect, 5-star recruit that we got late yesterday, by the way, in Missouri, what that means, and possibly along with what Coach Butler and Coach Rule said moving forward defensively. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make the short drive to Pleasantdale and enjoy a great meal at the P-Dale Pub. From prime rib, patty melts, ribeyes, drink specials, and so much more, the P-Dale Pub provides a small-town feel with exceptional service and delicious food. Visit the P-Dale Pub in Pleasantdale today and watch their Facebook page each week to find out their dinner specials.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com. Or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back live. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We are the Old School crew. We are coming at you from a live, remote Salt Mine City, 8th and R, on the corner of 8th and R, right by the Hilton Garden Inn. We are pre-gaming for another hour all the way up until the 7 p.m. tip between our Nebraska Cornhuskers, Indiana Hoosiers. We got great beer specials down here. Single Axle, what I'm enjoying right now. We have the Gates of Munich from Oktoberfest, Jake Break, a mango wheat, Triple Axle,
that's mine.
New England IPA, a.k.a. the Bill Belichick special. And then also you have $6 IPA drafts all night long. We're giving away free hats and T-shirts. So a lot going on. Obviously, we're gonna go over the portal news. We like giving the update of the portal. The portal is the vortex, but it's obviously, with Nebraska where beginning of the week you got Emmett Johnson back. And then also you got Keona Davis midweek back. And then, simultaneously, I think Nate Borkacher jumped in the portal a little bit to see what he's going to do, and he still might come back. And then ultimately yesterday had a big get, former Missouri Tiger, #1 defensive end, 5-star recruit, just as recent as last year. Nebraska had, probably finished, a close second.
Yeah.
And so also I think, Austin, before you comment, I think the biggest thing you have to understand in this day and age of recruiting, even if you aren't the initial choice, if you recruit hard, recruit with good integrity, and finish a legit close second and possibly third, you could be getting the same recruit the next year. And he might be a better player, or just actually really understand what you can bring to bring him and his family and his opportunity, at the University of Nebraska. So that's, I think, what's changed the most in recruiting, because it's not the first go around; it's the second and third possibly.
I think you can credit that exact concept, Jay, to Williams-Nwaneri from Missouri. You can credit that to Dawson Merritt from Alabama. That's a guy that seemed like he was torn pretty much up to the end, ends up going with Alabama before backing out of that commitment.
Oh, yeah.
And I even think
Danny Caitlin,
right?
Or
Tommy Hill, right?
Hill.
Transferring in from Arizona State,
Yeah,
right? Nebraska was second for him. They keep that relationship going, even though it was a similar but different staff at the same time. It's about the transaction. It's about the money. It's about the role. It's about the opportunity. But it's about the relationship, too. If you have a strong relationship and you don't say, forget that guy, he's never coming here. Why did he turn down our offer? It's clearly better. We thought we were in better position. Don't hold it against the kid, right? It's probably not personal. He'll let you know if it's personal. He'll subtweet you on social media, or he'll tell you to your face if he's the right kind of kid that, this is where you dropped the ball.
Right.
But again, like you're saying, if it's a close second, if it's a tight battle all the way up to the end, you laid it all out on the line, and the young man or woman in a different sport feels respected, feels the love, feels the relationship, they will be more than willing to at least pick up the phone when you call if they enter the portal.
Yeah, I think two things sway in your favor is when you see realistic improvement, obviously on the field, excitement, which is on the field, and obviously the social media and media aspect of it. And then obviously if you see some improvement, which Nebraska did, even though very small, as far as an extra win, they become bowl eligible. You could watch the Iowa game and essentially say Nebraska gave that bad boy away. So I think even when you come in at a close second or third, they still keep an eye on you, and you keep an eye on them. And when you get the opportunity, you get to sway them, whether it's, like I said, Dawson Merritt going from Bama to Nebraska, or Nwaneri, we're going from actually at Missouri, getting in the portal, and Nebraska ending that really quick. Essentially within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, they got him, signed, sealed, and delivered. And so that, that's the way the portal is going to go. And look, you're going to get really good players jumping in the portal. seeing what their opportunities out there are, both NIL wise and obviously role wise. Obviously, Nate Borgature jumped in the portal. I got a ton of respect for Nate. I like that dude, man. I like Nate. He's a funny dude. I've seen him. I saw him come in as a true freshman and just grow both on and off the field. Played really good all year long. Really got featured. His role really grew when Coach Dana came in. And so I was, a little disappointed in going there, but I understand it. But also know that the relationship that he has with the coach and the staff at Nebraska, the door is not closed. They understand the business side.
Yeah.
I do think Nebraska would be willing to, I can't speak for him, but I just would assume that they would make, he's such a really ascending player that they would want him back, not only on the field, but what he brings in the locker room to pair with, Thomas Fidone. And then we got news also, that Heinrich Harburg is all in trying to make a transition into, some sort of tight end role. To bring, giving him an opportunity to, expand his horizons as far as playing on the field. So, I think it's just part of the process of, we talked about Malachi Coleman at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. We're talking about Nate. We'll talk about some other guys that, eventually will, dip their, nose or their foot in the water and see where it's at. But ultimately, I always go back to this. Are you getting the right advice from good, honest, realistic sources? And we didn't get the Jay Norvell, but this is true. It is true. There's a lot of, I guess call them predator snakes out there. And I'll say this. I still think NFL agents get paid too much at 3%. Especially when you're dealing with like a Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. You're slotted. And you're really slotted now. And no contract is valid until it is signed off with the PA and the owner. So you can't get a Ricky Williams type of deal where you have a bad contract. So you're really not doing anything. You're just pushing send, right? Now, look, 3% is 3% because I'm sure, they do some stuff and front some money and all that stuff, but they write it off on taxes. But when you know that these agents that are working for these kids and they're really just picking up the phone and answering emails, they're not driving up the stakes that much
because it's such a new game, right?
It's
I mean,
a new
NFL
game.
agents look.
But
try to explain it to me too, because on the one hand, the player's got to tell the agent what he wants, right? But isn't there a part of the agent too that has to be looking around the country saying, "Hey, here's a situation that might be good for you. Here's the situation that might be good for you. I know you want here, but they're saying no. Don't waste your time."
Yeah, it is, and it's the agent's job. It's the agent's job to go out there and represent you right. The problem is, I'll call them sub agents. It's like the dude to call you up and say, "Hey, look, dude, I know so-and-so somewhere. They like you. You can get 5X this type of money," when it's not 5X. You leave a really good spot and opportunity for the potential of 5X. Then you get out there and it's really only 2X. And then you got to really weigh, okay, well, just say, for instance, if I'm getting paid $150,000 at Nebraska, but the max I can get somewhere else is $200,000, is that really worth it? Or if it's a matter of, say, $15,000, is it really worth it? They know me here. They've kind of developed me at some point. I'm going to get more touches and carries and opportunities than I did the previous season based on what I did, and that's why you're getting phone calls. That's what Jay Norvell is talking about. That's what sometimes affects the Nebraska, because it's not the 3% at the highest levels now. You're talking about some big contracts. You got kids that have no financial awareness. You're talking about some kids sometimes 18. If you come in at 17, you're in the portal at 18. You don't have any. You can't even buy a beer, And if you want, they can't even come down to Salt Mine City and really enjoy it. You got to think these so-called agents are taking 15 to 20%, and here's why I have a problem with it. Every major. We're just talking about Power 4, Big 10, ACC, Big 12, and obviously the SEC. Every university has NIL. We have cost sharing. So don't sit up here and think that you need to charge 15 to 20% because you're not finding the new oil well. The well is there. Now, sure, do you need to, you're going to make some money maybe on like getting them in a bidding war, but generally that's the very small percentage. That's the same thing in the NFL. The guys that are going to go in the first round, that's the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. And so the thousands and tens of thousands probably of guys that are going to end up in the portal, just in the football side, are going to be left out to dry based on some bad advice. And that's what I hate for some guys. And especially even if you're able to go get an extra, let's just say 10,000, it won't be worth it because you're not ruining your legacy. You're turning your back on your legacy here, and you're making a lateral move. And that's why I say Nebraska's in such a tricky spot. You have enough talent that when you watch the tape, you're like, okay, that's actually, they gave away that game against Iowa and a couple other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So then those players become appealing to the teams that are, let's say 8-4. And so they come and try to pluck off your roster, and that's where you get a lot of the snakes coming out of here and saying, you need to get out of here, right? You kind of, in some way, Nebraska, in theory, could be better off being 4-8 because ain't nobody coming to get you.
Well, and it's probably easier to get from 4-8 to 6-6 than 6-6 to 8-4.
Yes.
And then easier to get from 6-6 to 8-4 than 8-4 to 10-2.
Right.
And 8-4 to 10-2 compared to 10-2 compared to 12-0. And that's another tricky spot for Nebraska, Jay, is being in that middle. People want to pluck from above, right? Because hey, this is a guy that can fill what we are doing. He has a role that we like, and we know that he can scale up. You also have teams below you that want to get to 6-6. Hey, this was a guy on a 6-6 team. We know he can play at that 6-6 level. We want to bring him in here. We'll give him more of an opportunity. We know this is a guy that wants more snaps. So you're getting poached from both angles as compared to a Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State, where their guys are going down. There's not really a way to go up from those schools right now. The other interesting part about this is twofold. Number one, we can't pretend like all the agents associated with Nebraska players are on the up and up. I don't know who they are. I don't know which players are getting bad advice, but college football is such a game that there are players on Nebraska's roster right now that are getting bad advice.
Yeah.
As the coach of a college football program, you recruit the player, you recruit the family. You also have to know the agency or the independent agent, because that's going to be a big part of it that the NFL head coaches have much less to worry about. That's a GM thing.
Yep.
That's a front office thing. And yes, Nebraska has a GM.
They have a GM in front of,
but it's
this
not
is
the
new.
same.
But
It's
this
more
is new.
on the head coach in college than it is in the NFL. Times 150, about to be times 105. It's a lot for a head coach to keep track of in college football that he doesn't have to in the NFL. Oh, and by the way, no contracts in college football. NFL, MLB, NBA, when guys are hitting the free market.
Right.
Either their contract ends or they have an opt-out that you can guess pretty well if they're going to opt in or they're going to opt out. College football, you rarely know ahead of time who's opting in, who's opting out.
It's tricky. And then also the thing about the NFL is they've had decades and decades of years of dealing with agencies, agents, agents that are under the normal agent. So you know what you're getting, and you also know what type of player you're getting from those agents. And now with NIL isn't new, but this whole GM, obviously we got revenue sharing coming on the horizon. But this whole, I'm going to be here for a year, then I'm going to see what I can get. It's just a free for all right now for guys that are giving bad advice, and the players that are getting bad advice, and none of the GMs, because the GM position with these football programs is relatively new. So they don't know enough people. And that's why you have to have a really good, I'm going to call it sub-support system for your players and your football program. Yes, I know that you got to try to squeeze every dollar and try to save it because of cost sharing. But this is something that you have to pay for. You have to have people that know how to reach the players, advise the players, continue to re-recruit the player during the season. During the off season,
when times are good and when times are bad for this player.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because listen, nobody's looking at anything else when you're 5-1.
No.
When you go 1-5 down the slot, then everybody's got some answers, and the answers are coming in, and sometimes those answers aren't being forthright and forthcoming. And so, that's just a fight that this is what you get paid for. But I'm telling you, one of the things I would not go chintzy on, I guess, or cheap on, is people that truly are honest and do things for the right reason. Now, look, you can say, does Nebraska got stuff that they got to work on? Sure. But you know who else does?
127 other programs.
Everybody else in the nation. Because listen, when you're at Bama and you don't make it, and a player at the stature of Ryan Williams is potentially thinking about going in the portal, or the smoke is out there for him to go in the portal, or Jalen Milroe is going to go in the portal, where could potentially, if he gets back to college football playoffs, could be an iconic player in Alabama football history, thinking about leaving. Everybody has the problems. And so you got to be able to problem solve, but you got to have more than the basic staff and do that, because it's like you plug one hole, here comes another. Like you get Emmett back, you get Keona Davis back, boom, Nate Borgenschneider. We got to get him back. Then you never know if a lineman might go in there, because what happens is, and you're completely right, you'll get 4 and 8 teams and below that will try to, we'll call it pluck up. But then also you get some players that may potentially say, well, my biggest role next year is, say, like, for instance, since we talked about Devondre Campbell, I might only play 30%. Well, I'm going to pluck down. I'm going to go down. I'm going to go from being a good player and, like I say, let's say a co-starter here on a good
playoff team,
or like an average team, let's say an 8-4 team. Okay, I'm gonna go down to 3-9. I'm gonna be the man. I'm gonna go from middle of the road player, and I hate saying this because every player is good, to thinking like, okay, I go to another school and they're viewing me as Ray Lewis. But the big thing that sometimes gets lost in translation is, do you have all those work ethics, and are those the things that are portable that you're bringing there? Because if you have some things and some holes in your game that are here, and you don't attend to those, going to a new place isn't going to get it or going to change it. Getting an extra $10,000 isn't going to change it. Those habits, if there are habits, bad habits or so-so habits or improvement that you need, have to be attended to. All the while, you're getting text messages magically, how people finally get your number. They're reaching out to every, social media, possibility. I even heard that you got dudes calling people's parents saying, hey, you know what? I know you're from here, but you know what? Your son, I know they tell you, I know for a fact I can get your son 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 more than what he's getting there. This could change not only his life, but your life. So now you got the pressure coming from your parents that have no experience.
Yeah.
And then sometimes.
Well, I think about that kid in Mississippi, right?
Right.
Who wanted to sign with, what was it? One of the Mississippi schools, his mom wouldn't sign his letter of intent. He wanted him to go to the other one.
Right. I mean,
it's
you
right
get
there.
that.
It's real.
Or you got the defensive end who's actually a pretty good player, a defensive end, outside linebacker from the University of Florida, came in and said, listen, I want to start on third downs. I want this, and I want $45,000 a month. And they were like, you can hit the road. Now, granted, now he's got Texas A&M and I think LSU in the back pocket. He's got visits already set up, so you know he's a legit player. But for every one of those situations that we see on social media or on TV, there's thousands that you never hear about. And so that's why I wish, kids, never jump in the portal too quick unless you have places to go and options, unless you're forced to go in the portal. Then you got to figure it out and get in where you fit in.
I do think it's important to note that what's happening isn't just a Nebraska thing, right?
Sometimes people think that, though.
Right, and that's we've heard that on the text line since the portal opened. Oh, I mean, are you worried for Nebraska? This is a lot. It seems like a lot's happening at once. Is it a culture issue? What's going on? It's normal for college football. Here's the difference, though, Jay. We hear about it a lot less from teams that are in the college football playoff, right? They are dealing with the same drama. There are players that want to get out of there to go play.
Yeah.
There always have been. There always will be. But here's the thing. They're good enough that winning is taking priority when we talk about those teams. For a team like Nebraska at 6-6, for a team, like Rutgers that didn't finish the way they wanted to, these stories, transfer portal, playing time, snaps, rotation, that takes over instead of, hey, look at this really good player that's balling out. Hey, look at this team having a historic season like Oregon, undefeated, one seed in the college football playoff. You can't tell me Oregon doesn't have some of the same stuff going on. Oregon's dealing with rogue agents. Oregon is dealing with guys that want to play more, guys that think they deserve more. But guess what? We don't hear about it. We hear about the winning.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Husker fans want, is to have to stop talking about all of this because they have actual wins and meaningful games on the docket.
Well, here's a perfect example. I think Georgia has had he was a starting quarterback for the first for the first 6 to 7 games. I think his last name is Humphrey. A young emerging player ended up starting over him. He went into the portal. The aura around his decision, that's on him.
Yeah.
He's selfish. The younger guy is better than him. He couldn't handle competition. You get a player that comes in, goes in the portal. Now, listen, every situation is different. I'm not saying this couldn't happen, but a player from a 6-6 team, or say 4-8 team, goes in the portal, like, say Nebraska, all of a sudden, the sky's falling. This is a coach. That's not the case. And also, I will tell you this: I remember talking to one of my former teammates, and he's actually a GM or whatever, and with a team in the college football playoffs. And I was talking to him last year just about the whole thing and about some guys leaving, X, Y, and Z. He said, "Listen, Jay, I got guys coming to my office. We done everything and then some. He said we've over-delivered. We supported him off the field. We supported his family. He has great, financial situation. He's playing some. We've, developed him as far as like taking time and actually invested in him personally. 2 weeks later, they come in and say, hey, I feel like playing somewhere else. So sometimes that happens. The funny thing about it, Austin, before we go to break with the portal, here's the thing that's crazy is if there, I think that eventually there's going to be like 15 to 18,000 kids in the portal.
We got 1,600 as of today.
Yeah, right. I think just in another year, right? There's 16 to 18,000 different cases. This is like if you're a lawyer and you got 18,000 cases, you got 18,000 different folders.
Mm-hmm.
Some might have some similarities, some might be drastically different. But nevertheless, you just wish everybody would, be able to have a place to go. But when you go down to 105 and, the walk-ons essentially is eliminated, there's going to be a lot of good players out there that either have to go down to try to level up or go down to get the ball on, or there's going to be a lot of players that decide to hang it up. And that's sad as well. Yeah. So anyways, what's not sad is what we got going on down here, right about a block and a half from PBA. We are live again at Salt Mine City, 8th and R, essentially right around the corner from Hilton and Garden Inn. But it's Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2025 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf, inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through December 17th is 15% off all wine and spirits and 25% off on thermometers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the best place in Lincoln for a casual get-together, best place to watch a game, and the best for pre- and post-game. Catch college and NFL football as well as the volleyball action this season at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. What's better than wings, cold beer, and a Husker win? Enjoy great food and drink specials every day and tons of TVs to catch all the action. Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. At Midwest Bank, they want to thank all the generous donors who helped make their 2024 Turkey Drive for Schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, they raised enough money to provide 153 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, they made Thanksgiving Day for those families a little brighter. They want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Come back. What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Once again, we are the Old School crew. We are brought to you by the Mercado, but we are live down here at Salt Mine City, 8th and R, right on the corner, right by the Hilton Garden Inn. Pre-gaming for another about 25 minutes for the tip-off between Nebraska and Indiana at 7 p.m. Great craft beers down here as well. A Single Axle, Gates of Munich from Oktoberfest, Jake Brake, Triple Axle, and many, many more. $6 IPAs today. Or tonight, or today and tonight, even after the game. And, Austin, the one thing is that as we approach, obviously Nebraska and Indiana, we talked about some NFL news. We talked about the portal. What do you want, as we get in here to the game, what's the one or two things you want to see? Obviously, the elephant in the room, you don't want to see Nebraska put on that performance. But what do you want to see overall over the 8 games, Nebraska 6-2? And you've looked at them with a very keen eye. What do you want to see, I guess, a improvement on? Because they've had a week of practice. Mm-hmm. Should have been very intense. What do you want to see differently, or maybe not totally different, but maybe added on to this team from what you've seen for the first 8 games?
Well, I need to continue to be humble. I wasn't sure on Nebraska over Creighton. I said Nebraska probably have to do
Nobody
something
was.
a little different.
They were saying it, but nobody. There's not anybody with knowledge knowing that Kalkbrenner is coming back, Ashworth, and the shooters with the 3-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. In the way that we probably played against St. Mary's, that nobody really said it with the chest out.
No, they didn't. And so I'm okay being wrong on that one. Nebraska proved me wrong. But then Nebraska also proved me wrong against Michigan State. I didn't think this team had that performance in them. It's a veteran enough group that's played together enough. I thought they would have handled the road environment better. I thought someone would have stepped up and, done a little individual effort to keep that a closer game. They all folded. No one stepped up. No one made a play consistently. Okay, off nights happen. I thought an off night for this team was 15 to 20 points. You can't afford that tonight. Indiana might not boost your resume hugely, but it's going to be a good win, even if it takes place at home. So I guess for me, Jay, I need to see more of a continuation of this too big lineup from Fred Hoiberg. It still weirds me out. It still doesn't jive in my brain. The switch that he made from Derek Walker as a small-ish 5 2 seasons ago to last year to Rink Mass as the stretch, but then Josiah Allick inserted into the starting lineup, right? Yeah. That's just not a style of basketball that I'm used to, that I'm a big fan of, right? Fred Hoiberg has done an incredible job of making it work offensively. Now, for it to continue to work, for me to feel good about it moving forward, Bearcay's got to stretch the floor. That lineup with Bearcay at the 5 has to blitz teams offensively. It's going to be a little weak defensively, as Bearcay's not a true 5. Andrew Morgan needs to continue to develop. Either he's playing the 4 or he's playing the 5. So I guess for me, I just need to get used to seeing a too big lineup from Fred Hoiberg, and then I want to see how the guards handle that, right? Mia doesn't space the floor. He's still trying to get comfortable handling on the perimeter, setting screens out that far. Morgan's okay out there, but Ukton-Gel is probably best in an ISO situation or a little bit of a pick and roll, maybe a little pick and pop. Yeah. I want to see how it works with spacing, right? Wooster's a downhill guy. Yep. Bryce Williams at his core is a downhill guy. Ulis is a downhill guy. Really the only, even Jawan, right? When they put him, Jawan Gary in pick and roll, downhill guy. The only guys I think that you have that are better on the perimeter consistently, I mean, Bryce is pretty well rounded, but again, I think at his core, he wants to get downhill. It's Essegian and it's Griffiths. Yeah. I think consistently, even Sam Hoiberg will go downhill, and I appreciate that fearlessness from him. So Nebraska needs to continue to attack downhill. You need guys to step up and be comfortable on the perimeter. And this is a good test against Indiana because I know you and Jake were talking about it. Similar size matchup, right? Nebraska doesn't have a size advantage, but also a big key for Indiana last year was Khalil Ware shutting down Rink Mass. Yep. Rink Mass was a non-factor. Khalil Ware played pretty well. But Keisei Tominaga,
all three games.
Yeah. Keisei Tominaga went off. Yep. Bryce Williams had a run and played pretty well. Juwan Gary got in where he fit in, right? That's what it's going to come down to tonight. Will Braxton Mia continue to neutralize Big Ten bigs like Umar Ballo, who transfers in from Arizona? Right. Can Bearcay Ukton-Gel hold up against a 4 like Malik Renew, especially offensively, run his legs? I still am not a firm believer in Nebraska's offense. I credit Fred for it looking as smooth as it has. I just think it's a limited offense, which tells me the defense is where this team has to lock in. But we've seen a couple times this year, Jay, St. Mary's, what got Nebraska going? It wasn't the defense, it was the offense. Yeah. Creighton, you had to score a little bit more with that team, and defense took over, but it was the offense starting the game out party strong. Started, So I want to see from Nebraska lean into that defensive identity. That is your tone center. It shouldn't take Connor Essegian coming off the bench and scoring 6 quick points to get you energized. Set the tone defensively from the jump, especially at home.
Yeah, I think one of the things I want to see from Nebraska is the 50-50 balls. I want to see Nebraska win those. I think Michigan State said, listen, you're not winning.
It was 90-10.
Yeah, Tom Izzo said, listen, you better not win any. So I think what Nebraska needs to do is take a little bit of Michigan State's identity and attitude towards this game, which will lead them to more effectiveness on the defensive end. All the while, I actually think – I'll push back a little bit. I think this offense could be good. I think they have to get the roles more crystal clear defined. Okay. And here's why. When Ulis comes off, then you got to really – then Bryce's roles got to change, or Gary's roles got to change. Maybe you go a little bit smaller, kind of like the Golden State death lineup where you put Bearcay at the 5, and then you can use him kind of like a Andrew Bogut, that type of thing. Then you put in Essegian, and he's wherever his hot spot is, you got him there, because if you rotate too slow, it's green light. So once they get that, I think you'll see more consistency on offense.
And I'm not saying – I don't want to say Nebraska's a bad offense.
No, they're not, but they're just not what we're used to, and it takes a little bit of time. But it can be a little bit of both, because I think if done right, they potentially can be a better overall team, because you'll be able to play 3 different ways versus 1,
Mhm.
right? If you want to
For
get
sure.
into like a white knuckle game where is it foul or like how we went sometimes Nebraska went out and played Rutgers last year and you could see on it they got worn out. Well, we can play like that. If you want to get up and down with athletes, we can do that potentially with we have Gary at even a small 5 or at a 4, and then we could put Bryce at the 3 and has to go big with Raleigh in them. So I think the process of figuring that out has to come to fruition tonight. It probably was probably one of the big things this week. But then also I think defensively, no matter what lineup you got, has to be better.
Yeah.
The intensity has to be better. The one thing I also want to see, who emerges. Is it going to be Bryce? Is it going to be Raleigh? The Sejan could be it, but I just look at Bryce, Raleigh, Gary as the 3 guys, and Burke kind of like a distant 4th, is the 3 guys that have to emerge, and it might be a rotation, but ideally you like it to be Bryce or Raleigh or somebody like that. When you're playing against Michigan State and it's going downhill, hey, give me the ball, and I can get a bucket. I can get the free throw line. I can get a big rebound. I can bring some, kind of like false intensity on defensively to get guys going.
Yeah.
I can maybe challenge somebody to do something a little bit more. You can't, Jake was here and he mentioned you can't have a 29 rebound deficit at one point in time because rebounding majority is 95% effort and want to. And so we got to have the effort and want to, because notoriously over Fred being here, we haven't been a very good rebounding team. Last year, except for a game or two, I think we actually were way better than we have been. And that what happens, we could make the tournament. So you got to go back to the basics, and you got to really, really dive. And everybody's got to be into the basics, and then you got to roll up your sleeves and bring it to them. Because let me tell you something: big man from Arizona is a load, and you don't realize how big he is.
7'1", 230,
right?
240.
But he is big.
Rocked up,
right? Heavy though, like dense, and,
tree trunks,
right? And so what people always think, like sometimes you see a guy they might be like 7'1", 250, he actually should be 230. My man is dense, and so what I mean, what the density does from a dense athlete, when he hits you, it sticks.
Yeah.
So when he bumps you off the block or tries to get you off the block, a pick and roll, a box out, it can wear you out.
Your first thought is, I'm not doing that again next possession.
Right.
Someone else's turn.
Right. And so so to counteract that, you got to get him to move.
Yeah.
We want him away. We want to put him into rejecting the pick and roll, taking the pick and roll. You don't have to shoot it every time. We want you to think, and we'll kind of soften that blow a little bit.
You know who did that really well? Louisville.
Yes.
Led by Chucky Hepburn.
Yeah.
In a game that was a 8 to 12 point game at halftime, they end up winning it by 20, 30 points. Chucky Hepburn had Omar Ballo on a string. Right. And that's not familiarity, because Chucky was at Wisconsin, Omar Ballo was at Arizona last year. But what Chucky Hepburn did was he played Omar Ballo like a fiddle. He played him like a puppet, right? Chucky Hepburn, get into the lane, and then just a beat off for Omar Ballo, right? He would hold it for a second, get Ballo to jump and challenge the shot. Oh, look, here's a lob over top to a big man. Or Ballo stays down, he continues to drop. He shoots a wrong-footed floater over him so he can't get up and contest it. I like what you said. Raleigh and Bryce are going to have the ball in their hands a lot.
Right.
Juwan Gary is one of Fred Hoiberg's favorite players of all time. You can tell how much he trusts him, how he talks about him. For me, Jay, it needs to be one player at each level every game. Whether it's going to be Wooster, most nights I trust him more than I do Aaron Eulis or Sam Hoiberg consistently. Some nights it's going to be Bryce Williams on the wing. Some nights it's Juwan Gary. Some nights Bryce Williams will take over the guard role, Juwan on the wing. In a game like tonight against Indiana, I think Nebraska's big man rotation, find the one that works and stick with it, right? If it's Braxton Mia countering size against size, getting physical, boxing out, getting rebounds, being the lob threat that Ballo is for Nebraska, great. Play back Braxton Mia as much as you can help it. If Omar Ballo doesn't have a read on Andrew Morgan's post moves, cool, awesome, fantastic. Let him go to work in the post every couple possessions. If it's Berke Boyutengel and you feel comfortable with Juwan Gary guarding Renew on one end, Bryce Williams on Mbako on one end, and you think that Boyutengel can take Ballo off the dribble or stretch him out away from the rim, and that's when you get Wooster to attack or Williams to go downhill. Find that lineup that works as early as possible, because I think Nebraska does have options. Like you said, to play various different styles. There are still some lineups they run out there that worry me. Who's going to get the bucket? Where's the size? But I think Fred Hoiberg and his staff are good enough coaches to throw those lineups out there with a purpose or only out of necessity, not just for kicks and gigs.
Yeah, this is a big drive and dive game. And you got to do it, and you got to be effective at it with it. And you can't take 3 to 4 minutes off. You can't take a TV break off,
Yeah.
and you got to be very, very effective with it, as far as with the big man there. And also one thing I want to see before we go to break, don't let Ballo get off. I want him at the free throw line. I don't want you to make an and one. I don't want you to have an easy pick and roll and dump it. Because the big man, you eliminate him, you take away the confidence. The reason why Indiana played us so close, or we beat them all 3 times, when the game was close, because Ware was getting off.
Yeah.
He was getting off, and that's where their energy came from. That's where they almost made the comeback, because they started hitting threes and they started to wake up a little bit. So
he's gonna hit you, hit him too.
Right. And we got to foul him hard, and we got plenty of big guys and fouls to give. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll get score predictions, a short segment. So we get Austin over there to PBA, and then I'll be heading home. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CR-FR Motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CRF Trail Bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love. During the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, you can slay the streets in style with a Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CRF 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods all year long. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
Make the short drive to Pleasantdale and enjoy a great meal at the P-Dale Pub. From prime rib, patty melts, ribeyes, drink specials, and so much more, the P-Dale Pub provides a small-town feel with exceptional service and delicious food. Visit the P-Dale Pub in Pleasantdale today and watch their Facebook page each week to find out their dinner specials.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and Day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly cloudy skies to start, then freezing rain arriving this afternoon. Be careful on the roads. Should see a high around 30. Tonight, wintry mix continuing, the low around 28. Tomorrow, we'll see a chance of light rain and snow throughout the day with a high near 40. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket and TicketFM.com.
The Huskers are headed to the Pinstripe Bowl. Cheer on the Huskers in New York City on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour offered by the Nebraska Alumni Association. Your bowl package includes a 2-night hotel stay, round-trip transportation on game day, pregame events, and more. Spots are limited, so book your spot now on the official Husker Pinstripe Bowl tour with the Nebraska Alumni Association. Go to HuskerFanTravel.com or call 888-831-0858. That's 888-831-0858 or HuskerFanTravel.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman once again, putting a bow on this Friday. Pretty hectic week, but we're live again down here to Salt Mine City, 8th and R, right on the corner, right on the corner of 8th and R, right around the corner from Hilton Garden Inn. We're done pregame, we're almost in game time. Austin, quick segment here. I guess I'll go first. I'll go first. I think Nebraska's going to win. I think it's going to come down. I mentioned before with Jake, it's going to come down to the last 2 or 3 possessions. I think the score is going to be 72-67 Huskers.
I like it. That's kind of the neighborhood I'm in as well. I see this being a back and forth game. I don't know if it quite rises to the level or sinks to the level of rock fight. I think there are advantages for either team in this matchup. For Nebraska, I really think it's Bryce Williams. I don't think there's anyone Indiana has that can stay in front of him consistently. And for Indiana, it could be Mackenzie Mbako. It could be Malik Renew. Yeah. I think that's where I would look there. I don't think it's a super high-scoring game, but like I said, not a rock fight. So I'm in that 70-64, 69, 63 type of range. I could see this game going a couple different ways. I could see Nebraska coming out with a lot of energy, just kind of keeping Indiana at length in that kind of, 8 to 12 point range for most of the night. They get a late bucket to push it to 5 or 6. I could see it being back and forth like Nebraska, Michigan State. Just last year here, a 77-70 Nebraska win. Not the same stylistic game as that one, though. I do think Nebraska wins. It's not a must win. It's not a need to win. You're 8 games into the season. It'd be a really nice one to win, though. You kind of own Indiana.
It'd be a great bounce back, too.
Right. Indiana owned you in football. You can own them in basketball. You've beat them 3 times in a row. Indiana's going to remember that, right? There's a lot of carryover. Woodson, Renew, Mbako are taking that personally. I like Nebraska at home. I like Nebraska in the bounce back. I think the Huskers got to find a way to get it done tonight.
Yeah, I think they will, and it's going to be a tough game like always. Mike Woodson is an ultimate competitor. Played at Indiana. He's definitely going to try to represent Indiana and get the players to do so as well. But once again, that's Old School. Good week. Good show, Austin.
Yes, sir.
And also we want to thank everybody down here at Salt Mine City, 8th and R. Been open for a little bit over 2 months. Really good service, really good atmosphere. 3 big, huge TVs. Obviously going to have the Husker game going on. But the best thing about it, Austin, It's within essentially a football's throw or a basketball's a full court pass, to PBA. And
I'm hosing someone at the plate if it's baseball, too.
Exactly.
I got him.
Yeah, you got him. I don't have that anymore, but ultimately in close proximity. But we're going to shut it down here. We appreciate you guys texting in, and obviously all the viewers as well. Jay Foreman, for my man Austin Norman. We're old school. We'll holler at you next week.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through December 17th is 15% off all wine and spirits and 25% off on thermometers. Locations at 84th and Havelock,